And in business, regional integration has become critical for expanding the size of African markets, as intra-African trade is the lowest ranked globally. Intra-African trade is approximately 15% compared to 54% in the North American Free Trade Area, 70% within the European Union and 60% in Asia. African business owners, especially the women, are now looking for solutions to the challenges hampering intra-African trade in the continent. News Central's Omolola Ololade tells us more.
Over the years, deepening intra-regional trade in Africa has been a difficult task for most business owners in the continent, especially as the need for an exchange of market access and cooperation grew bigger. While the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, AfTA, was established to create a single market across the continent, African business owners, particularly the women, believe there hasn't been enough progress to develop regional public goods. It is on this premise that an ECOWAS NGO organized a training for African business women to equip them with the necessary skills for intra-trading within the continent.
We're trying to train the women to see how they can trade between the ECOWAS country. It's logistics. So if we can soften the borders for them to be able to carry their goods across the borders of West Africa, it will make it easy for them to trade.
We are asking to be inclusive into this African trade agreement, simply because most of the MSMEs are being run by women. And that is the truth. And if you are talking about trade, you cannot leave these women that are about 75% of this economy without knowing what is going on.
Experts in the commerce industry emphasize the need to surmount the challenges facing intra-regional trade in the continent, as they say this will bring massive dividends to the continent's economy.
One of the key challenges that are actually facing the private sector is access to information, because to move a product from one country to another, you need to be very conversant about the trade regulations that affects the various countries.
A very important challenge is that of currency. So if they have a common currency in Africa, that will facilitate business and trade, as against each one using different currencies or using dollar, a foreign currency, to do business in Africa. I think we should work towards getting our own currency in ECOWAS and in Africa.
Some of the participants from different African countries say they are excited to be beneficiaries of the training because of how it has equipped them to break the barriers they face in trading outside their home countries.
This training is actually going to help me work along with other women entrepreneurs in Liberia to be able to introduce what I've learned here today. So it's like me taking back what I'm going to learn here today to the women entrepreneurs in Liberia.
I want to sell my products in another town of Africa. Then this training will help me how to travel with my products without paying enough money at borders, and how my products can be fluent in another towns in Africa.
With programs like this, the projection of the African markets extending to 1.7 billion people with cumulative consumer and business spending of $6.7 trillion by 2030 may be achievable. Omolola Ololade reporting for News Central.